Welcome to Chapter 2, Information Technology, or as we normally say, IT. Can you imagine running a business without computers? Can you imagine running just a department within a business without computers? Information technology is moving so fast and changing so rapidly, I don't know how any normal person with a life keeps up. But keep up we must. It's not a choice, it's an imperative. Well, IT is certainly important in logistics. In this lecture, I briefly discuss the massive amount of data we collect and have collected on us daily. I also point out that data in and of itself is not useful. However, when analyzed and used to make decisions, data is a powerful tool for any organization. The real question is the data used for good purposes or for bad purposes? And unfortunately, we often don't know that until after the data is used. Not too long ago, I was in the market for a bicycle and went online to shop. One of the places I looked was Walmart online. Suddenly I started receiving emails from Walmart detailing all of their bicycle deals. I also received emails from other companies. Simply by shopping online, data was collected on me that indicated that I wanted to purchase a bicycle. I became a prime target. Now that doesn't particularly bother me, other than to think how many other people are collecting data on me right now. I don't know and probably never will know unless one of those entities uses that data improperly. They may sell my information to telemarketers, they may try to steal my confidential data, they may try to use it to harass me. The things they may do with that data is limitless, and I won't know until it's already done. The new world puts anonymity and our freedoms in great jeopardy. Think about it. There is good and bad in most everything. I'm not sure I fully understand all of the implications of the internet and cyberspace. This chapter details how logistics use IT and how IT interacts with the rest of the organization. Interesting reading and very thought-provoking if we read between the lines. So let's look between those lines and discover the important place that IT holds. Well, welcome to Chapter 2, Logistics and Information Technology. In today's world, information technology, or IT as we call it, is essential. It is essential for large and small businesses. In fact, no company can effectively compete without an acceptable level of IT support. How do we define an acceptable level? It is defined largely by our competition. IT may or may not create a competitive advantage, but lack of IT or insufficient IT can certainly create a competitive disadvantage. IT is becoming an integral part of all logistics operations. Just look at your personal use of logistics and the interface of technology. In my life, I order things online now more frequently than I ever used to. Therefore, I'm more concerned with shipping cost and shipping methods and speed of shipping. I am constantly using the internet to resolve customer service issues. I judge companies and make buying decisions based on reviews posted on the internet and return to purchase based on how a company interacts with me as a customer online. I receive discounts on gas and other items based on my buying loyalty, and all of that is driven by the collection of online data. I receive coupons based on my buying habits in the past, and that too is driven by internet tracking of my past purchases. And it goes on and on. Given our discussion as to how logistics impacts the bottom line, it is obvious that IT has a big impact on the operation of logistics and in turn, a big impact on business in general. Take a moment to analyze how your reaction with the internet and technology in general has changed in the past 10 years. By the way, you may have to analyze that in between tweets and text messages on your cell phone. Did those exist 10 years ago? So given all of the internet and online interactions, what does that interaction generate? In short, it generates data. And data are facts. I bought this item at Amazon. I researched or searched for this item through Google. I purchased these items this week at the grocery store, etc. Those are facts. However, data has little value unless it is organized, applied, and used to draw conclusions. The conclusions drawn constitute information. Information allows someone to make a decision. Amazon decides to send me email messages about the items I purchased or researched in the past. They use the data to conclude that I may have an interest in a specific product, and therefore, instead of targeting the entire marketplace, they choose to target only those people who have expressed an interest in the past. That can be a real competitive advantage, and that can dramatically increase sales. This data, information, and decisions obviously have an impact on sales, but they also have impacts on the business systems throughout. If we consider the flowchart on page 10 that we discussed in chapter 1, think about the impact of this information on suppliers and manufacturers and distributors and retailers. More complete data leads to better analysis and better decisions. With data and information, a company will have a better idea of the real demand for a product. Therefore, the tendency to overproduce and increase inventory and inventory cost, or underproduce and create stockouts and lost sales, is less. Suppliers understand not only how much to produce and supply, but also have a much better idea of when to produce and ship. Manufacturers understand how much to produce and how many employees to hire to run efficiently. Retailers know how much to order and when demand is likely to peak. The entire system is more efficient and costs are lowered, and hopefully we will ultimately pay less as a consumer for the product. This discussion certainly points out the positive aspect of collecting data and information creation. However, there is a negative side as well. In today's technological world, we have lost freedoms and anonymity in many areas. The collection of data is, without question, an intrusion into our individual lives. How much do we want retailers and companies, and particularly the governments, to know about you? Remember, the data collection itself is not a problem, but the storage of the data and the creation of information are the problems. Do you care if Amazon knows that you are interested in a particular product? Do you care if the government knows who you call and how long you talk? Do you care if bureaucrats know your contacts, who you converse with via email, and the subject of those conversations? It is easy to define the positive aspects of technology, data collection, and information. Defining the negative is much more difficult and often is not clearly focused until it's too late. We may not know if an organization collects and uses our data until they use it inappropriately. Is it okay if they then apologize and say they intend to stop collecting the data? Will the company, bureaucrat, or government unlearn or forget what they have discovered about you? I doubt it. Taken to the ultimate conclusion, this concern could destroy all of our freedoms. Now, I don't want to imply that the sky is falling and all of our freedoms are gone. I don't believe that. But how far away is the ultimate conclusion? It depends on who you listen to, but no one can legitimately argue that it is a non-issue. The threat of technology and data collection is real and something that should receive the highest concern. As with chocolate, some is good and healthy, but too much is definitely harmful. With the good comes the bad, and that doesn't mean we ignore the bad. We must control and minimize the bad. The textbook, starting on page 25, discusses 6 general types of information systems. I'll not cover those again here, but make sure you study and understand them. Office automation system, communication system, transaction systems or TPS, management information systems or MIS, decision support systems, DSS, and enterprise system. If you have questions, bring them up on the discussion forum, and I'll try to clarify them. But these are important systems within an organization as well. Pay particular attention to transaction processing, or TPS. This is an area of data collection where much of the data we are discussing in the previous paragraph is generated. This is where they collect data from you, for example, on your loyalty cards at the local grocery store. When you go through the checkout at Lowe's, Food Lion, or any other grocery store, you have a loyalty card, and that store collects direct data on your buying habits and your lifestyle. This part of the systems constitutes perhaps the greatest opportunity for cost savings on the part of suppliers and consumers, but also the greatest threat to our freedoms. How much is too much? That is probably a question only you can answer for yourself as an individual, but we'll talk about it in the discussion forum. The latter part of the chapter discusses the impact of the internet on logistics. It is a good discussion and worth reading, but we will be discussing the impact in nearly every chapter and discussion to some point for the remainder of this course. The impact is great.